In this class, we have Dylan Cox, who's showing his steer here in the middle of the class. He is our reserve champion rate of gain, sponsored by the Jim Spicer Memorial. His rate of gain was 3.63.
Fun set of steers that are starting to hit that weight range where we're a little more acceptable in terms of what the feed yards are sending to the packing plant. So in terms of carcass merit, it becomes even more important. And the steer that starts off the class was deceiving to me because at first when I entered the ring, I started to question him in terms of he was thick and he had muscle, but how much finish he had. And at the handle, I was quite impressed when I got into feel in terms of finish. He's kind of at an ideal point, I think, and you heard about his average daily gain, so that's an easy feeding steer that, like I said, has enough muscle and finish to do really well when he hits the cooler. And overall, the look of that steer from the side's awfully balanced and attractive. They've got it dialed in and looking good. Good job to that exhibitor. That's a nice steer to start off the class. And that's not to take away from our cream-colored steer in second. This is another one that in terms of rib and mass and thickness is plenty shapely and quite impressive. And even at the handle, he's one that's acceptable in terms of finish. I bet he grades fairly well. And I just think, compared to our class winner, maybe he doesn't have the intriguing pieces that we see in terms of front 1/3 look and such a nice fresh chest that we see in our class winner. I'd like to clean that up just a bit, but nonetheless, a really nice steer that I'm sure is going to be really good when it hits the cooler for that young lady. Nice job to both of them. I think they're got a lot of practicality and real-world application among those two steers. And not to take away from our third place black steer shown by this young gentleman, he's done a good job with it. And at the handle, he may be the trimmest in terms of finish, and that's awfully important because back fat leads to large deductions when they hit the packing plant. So he's got a lot of mass. He's real fresh in terms of his trim. As you can see, he's just a little laborsome, especially off that back left foot, and that's why he stands in third today. But a really good class of steers that keep priorities in check in terms of real-world application and cutability and quality grade. Kudos to those three. They've got a good set of steers, and that's an awfully impressive group. Congratulations.
Your class winner is Dylan Cox, second place Megan Hughes, and third place Mason Kohler. Let's give him one more big round of applause. All right, next we'll be bringing in our last class of market steers. In this class, we have Nathan Rohrberg in the far northeast corner of the arena there. He's showing his steer, and he is the champion rate of gain steer, which is sponsored by Heartland Co-op. His rate of gain was 3.73.
Final 3 steers in this show so far, and these are the heavyweights, obviously, so they are well at the point of where they're ready to get shipped off and hit the cooler. So, you know, carcass merit's important, just like I talked about last class. And this black steer to lead off the group is one that I really tie on to quite a bit. I think he does a lot of things well. You study him in terms of shape and top, and he's got plenty of mass and the correct amount of finish. And I think what's so unique about him is his ability to remain so functional in his structure on the go and still have a good look about him. That's a really, really good combination steer that you can tie on to pretty quickly. So he wins, and it was a nice job by the young showman getting that one stuck. You did a good job. Our white steer to get second in class is one you can appreciate in terms of added length and thick spread, you know, in terms of rib length, and I got some extension up front. Good job to this exhibitor getting that white, because I know washing white steers is not very fun and getting them clean isn't easy, but good job to him. Just kind of gets out-horsed in terms of muscle and meat compared to our class winner. And to round out the class, this black steer that's giving this showman a little bit of grief, but kudos to the showman for sticking with it. It's not easy dealing with one that's a little flighty. So let's give him a round of applause, especially for sticking with it. That's a good steer in terms of real-world look and rib, just a little more uncoordinated in its structure, and as you can see, he's not cooperating very well. But nonetheless, good job to the 3. That's a fun set of heavyweight steers.
All right, so our class winner was Nathan Rohrberg. Second place was Aaron Marburger, and third place was Ryan Stortenbecker. Next, we'll be bringing in all of our class winners to choose our grand champion and reserve champion. So now we'll be choosing our grand and reserve champion market steers. Our grand champion steer trophy is sponsored by the Glenwood Area Chamber of Commerce, And our grand champion steer banner is sponsored by Brady Smith Feed and Supply. Our reserve grand champion market steer trophy is sponsored by the Dick Bowden family. And our reserve grand champion steer banner is sponsored by AgriVision.
An excellent steer show today, and I can't commend you all in your county for putting together a great set of quality steers. I think these exhibitors have all done a stupendous job, and let's all give everyone a nice round of applause for coming back in the ring. You know, there's a lot of differences, but a lot of good among these 6 head, and I tell you what, you know, you think about what we're looking at in this day and age, and right now steers and feeding cattle hasn't been the best of situations, and I commend anyone feeding cattle right now because I know that this pandemic has led to some struggles in terms of getting fat cattle sent to the plant, and that's not ever been easy to deal with. So you think about mature fat weights right now have been having to go up, and time on feeds haven't been to go longer because of that. So, we got to think about raising good steers that grade well and collect premiums, because these cattle have had to been on feed quite a bit longer than what's been necessary. So I think these exhibitors have all done a great job showing me profitable steers that are correct in terms of carcass merit, and they still bring in some structural integrity and look and balance from the side. So good job to all these steers. I've already talked them once, so I'll go ahead and pick your champion overall steer, and then I'll slide right in and pick your reserve. Congratulations again.
All right, your grand champion market steer belongs to Nathan Rohrberg. All right, and your reserve champion belongs to Dylan Cox. Let's give them both another big round of applause. All right, next we get the opportunity to do something kind of cool. We're going to bring our champion market heifer back into the arena, and we get to choose an overall champion to send to the Southwest Shootout. So for those who don't know, the Southwest Shootout's kind of a cool event. There are several counties that bring together all of their champion animals, and they pick an overall winner for Southwest Iowa out of the champion animals from several different counties in the area. It's kind of a neat event. It's usually held up at West Fair. I'm not sure on the dates. But if you see any information about it and you're interested in it, it's a pretty cool event, and it helps bolster a lot of the support for our young 4-H'ers and the projects that they are involved in.
Well, this is a fun event that they have the chance to attend, and I'll tell you what, I've been able to see it myself, and the Southwest Shootout is an awfully well-run event, and I strongly urge all of you, if you have the chance, to go over and watch it, because it's really cool, and there's a lot of good cattle and other species there as well. So without further ado, we're going to have our champion steer be able to go to the Southwest Shootout. Congratulations to him, and good luck. I hope you do well.
All right, Nathan Rohrberg's steer is our choice for the Southwest Shootout. Good luck to Nathan. All right, next in the arena we'll have our Trowbridge Farm heifer class. Our Trowbridge Farm Breeding Heifer Award is sponsored by the Mark Epperson family.
This is an awfully cool event that your guys' county fair puts on, and I've never seen anything like it. And I think we need to commend the Trowbridge family for helping allow this happen. And I'm so happy that these three and the rest that get to come in the ring get to experience showing cattle, especially breeding heifers. You know, it's something that I hold very near and dear to me, and the lessons learned, I think, are timeless. So congratulations to these three. I'm supposed to just pick a class winner, and I'll do that. But all three of them have done an excellent job, and I think it's indicative of how docile and tame these three heifers are. All three of these deserve a big old round of applause. Nice job, you three. It's definitely not easy, but just in terms of breeding heifer, prospects and showmanship, I think we're going to go with our young man in the middle here. He's got a really nice heifer, and he's done a really good job showing it too. Congratulations.
Mark Wells is your class winner. Let's give him another round of applause. While we got a little lull in the action here, I'd like to remind 4-Hers and their parents one more time that livestock auction entries need to be submitted to the fair office before 2 p.m. tomorrow. Next, we're going to have our breeding beef class, our first class of breeding beef.
interesting class of breeding heifers here today, and to start things off, this is just a fall-born female that I think just ties everything together the nicest. I know she's young, but you look at her in terms of at the lead, she's so sound and flexible off both ends, and she has just a nice cowy look about her body shape, and still ties together with a good look from the side. If I was going to be critical of her, I think she just drops her pin set ever so slightly when she hits her stride, but other than that, that's a really nice fall-born, and that kid's doing a good job with her. I like that heifer quite a bit. Second place female's one that's so long and extended about her front 1/3 and transitions back. That length continues in her rib cage. I just maybe like to stouten her up a little bit. She's just maybe not as put together as nicely. She's kind of in that girthy teenager stage where I'm sure she'll drop in her body shape a little more and piece together nicely. And she's just a tick more upright and angled to her shoulder when she hits her, gets in motion, and that's pretty critical of a good, nice young one. Our two females that round out the class are obviously birds that are getting closer and closer to calving, so a little bit different type and kind than these two young ones in class, but still really good. They're very different heifers. The third place one is one that I think has a good, nice feminine cow look about her front end and still transitions back and holds her and plenty good in terms of her body condition. I think she just tracks a little bit better at the lead in terms of her skeleton and build, particularly off her hind too. But a nice female. Her udder development, I'd maybe like to refine her teat shape ever so slightly, and that's probably where I like the fourth place heifer a little bit better. Is I think her teat development's a little more my style. I really like this heifer in terms of thickness and power. She's real broody in her look, but she's just a little more laborsome in motion than some of the other ones in class. But nonetheless, a good set of fall-aged cattle that I think there's a lot of good breeding pieces that all these exhibitors can work around. Good way to start off the breeding heifer show. Congratulations.
Your class winner belongs to Caden Crouch. Second place, Cameron Crouch. Third place, Wyatt Madison. And fourth place, Adeline Madison. All right, in the arena now, we brought in our two purebred breeding heifers, so we're showing them in one class.
unique pair of heifers in the ring, and these were both single entries in their respective breeds, so we brought them out to keep the cattle content. So both of these will be able to come back into our Supreme Heifer Drive, so congratulations to you both. I'll talk them as individuals for what I see, and to start things off, this Hereford heifer, for those of you who don't know, I raise Hereford cattle myself, and this heifer's one I really tie on to a lot. She's probably the soundest animal I've seen all day. You study her skeleton and the angles off both ends. She's so flawless in terms of the set to her shoulder and hip. Foot shape's remarkable, and when she gets set into motion, she just glides across the ring. I really like that about her. She's got a beautiful front 1/3, and I think a little more time on feed, and that one could be really, really good. Good job of that individual. She's got that thing stuck in here multiple times. She's worked with it a bunch. Congratulations. That's a nice Hereford heifer. Next up is a Simmental heifer that when it hits you, it just strikes you as broody and powerful. You know, it's got plenty of rib cage and thickness. Really, really like that about her. She's got that big old brood cow, easy fleshing look about her that can certainly excel on pasture. To be critical of a pretty good one, I'd like to rearrange her front 1/3 on the top side of her neck. She gets a little crusty over the top. It's not really as elegant as some others we've seen today. And in terms of structural integrity, I'd probably like to rearrange her shoulder. She kind of likes to paddle her front feet when she gets set into motion. It just looks a little more laborsome when she's on the go. But nonetheless, you can appreciate the easy flesh and easy doing look about her. Two really nice females. We look forward to having you come back later on in the show. Congratulations. Let's give them a nice round of applause.
Okay, so now in the arena we are jumping ahead to our crossbred breeding heifers. And we are splitting it into two classes.
One set of commercial heifers, and to start things off, this gentleman's heifer is one that I think you can just tie on to in terms of all traits. You know, she's really thick and wide in her pin set and got plenty of boldness to her rib, and I love her in motion compared to the other ones. She just seems to hit her stride the best, and I love the foot shape about that one. It's a really, really good commercial heifer. Nice job, young man. That's nothing to take away from the heifer in second, one that's very elegant about her look and maybe a tick deeper body than our class winner. I think I'd just like to stout that one up just a little bit in terms of bone and pin width, particularly when you get in from behind her. You notice she's a little narrower made than our class winner. But nonetheless, you love the durability and body shape of that one. And I commend that young showman. She's done a good job sticking with that heifer that's been a little stubborn for her today. So nice job with her. Good work. To round out the class, I think there's some trade-offs here between the two, and I really like the thickness of our third place heifer compared to the fourth place heifer. I just maybe get a little more critical of its front feet on our third place heifer. She's getting a little long-toed, and looking at long-term longevity with that heifer, that could be problematic down the line, but nonetheless, a nice, thick, good-looking heifer. Good job to that young man. And to round things out, this heifer is one that you can appreciate in terms of foot shape compared to the third place heifer, but I just think her structure and motion's a little more difficult in terms of her hind legs. She likes to duck in her pin set and get a little sickle hopped. And as you can see, she maybe just doesn't have as much thickness and dimension as the third place heifer, but a fun set of 4 heifers. Nice job to all 4 of them, and that was a really good class. Congratulations.
Your class winner is Levi McDonald. Second place, Allison Morris. Third place, Matthew Haley. And fourth place, Kennedy Haley. Next, we'll be bringing in our second half of our crossbred breeding heifers.
A lot of sort to this class, and obviously we got 2 black heifers and 1 red heifer that's a little bit of an outlier in comparison to the type and kind of these 3. But to start off the class, I thought this heifer was just your surest bet in terms of practicality. You study her in motion. She's the most flexible and comfortable on the go, and certainly her foot shape's the most sought after in terms of how it's shaped and what it looks like, and that's important compared to some of these other ones in the ring. I think she's feminine, she's attractive, and she's just a real functional female that should have plenty of longevity down the line. I really like that heifer. I think the sorting really comes between 2nd and 3rd place in the class, and it's really hard. There's a lot of different trade-offs, and you just kind of have to make a stand on what you like. And to be honest, I chose this black female just because I thought she was a little more comfortable in motion. But unfortunately, that just actually leads to her detriment, because if you study her in her foot shape, she's getting a little bit too long in her toes off both ends, and that could hurt down the line. So I love the look and femininity of this one. She's a nice, practical, good-bodied heifer, but she needs to be better footed. But nonetheless, that was a hard call, because this red heifer in the rear here, she's so powerful, thick and big-boned, and you probably like her foot shape better, but probably like her foot shape a little bit better, but in terms of flexibility of her skeleton, it's not nearly as sound and easy moving as the heifer in front of her. I love how thick and powerful this one is in terms of performance. I bet she can wean a calf that's awfully heavy, but I just worry about her structure long term, particularly off her hind leg. She's really tight in her pastern and short striding, so really tough call between those 2. I'd definitely listen to somebody if they'd like to switch the pair, but nonetheless, a good class, good job to all 3 of those young ladies. They did a great job showing them, so nice work. Congratulations.
Your class winner belongs to Macy Morris. Your 2nd place also belongs to Macy Morris, and 3rd place belongs to Alexis Stout. Next, we will be choosing our Grand and Reserve Champion in Breeding Beef. Our Grand Champion Breeding Beef Trophy is sponsored by the Russell Crouch Memorial. Our Grand Champion Breeding Beef Banner is sponsored by Leroy and Kelly Stortenbecker. Our Reserve Grand Champion Breeding Beef Trophy is sponsored by Heartland Co-op. And our Reserve Grand Champion Breeding Beef Banner is sponsored by Mark and Julie Schoening.
So this would be for champion commercial heifer, and our two class winners are just the right kind of cattle. You know, they're both, you know, sound structured, functional in their look. They're good bodied and plenty practical. You know, these are two females that I think both exhibitors can get excited about for the future of these heifers. You know, they're ones that I think they can go out and be good cows and lay down, and raise a calf. So I commend these two for bringing the right kind of cattle, and that goes plenty to these two as well. There's just good cattle in front of us, and we need to appreciate that. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and pick your champion commercial. I've already talked to these, but I must say it's subtle differences amongst the two. But I'm just going to pick the one I like a little bit better, and we'll go for reserve. But I'll tell you what, nice job to all four of these. This is a good set of commercial females. Congratulations.
Your grand champion belongs to Macy Morris. And your reserve belongs to Levi McDonald. Let's give them all another big round of applause. All right, small point of clarification. We just chose the commercial champion in reserve. Now we are choosing our crossbred. Now we are choosing our grand in reserve for breeding beef overall.
really fun breeding heifer show today, and you know, this is where I make my living. I raise cattle for a living, and I love what I do. So seeing all these really nice females in front of me is exciting. I think all these exhibitors have done an excellent job, and I hope that all these animals that have gone through the breeding heifer or breeding beef show today can certainly go out and work, and that's what the important thing about raising livestock and primarily beef cattle is, going out and trying to make money. So I challenge all four of you in front of me today to go find a cattle producer that you enjoy talking to and learning from them, because there's a lot of different facets in a cow-calf enterprise that you can form or learn from and take and form your own operation with. So congratulations to you four. It's awfully close. I think there's some differences among the four, so I'm actually going to talk them as I say them. To start things off, this black female in front of me is one that I really appreciate in terms of look from the side and profile. She's really, really good in her balance, and her body shape's ideal to me. I love her front 1/3. She's plenty sound enough on the go, but to be critical of her, I'd like to maybe level her out in terms of her hook to pin set. She just drops her pins just ever so slightly, and consequently, that leads her to being just a tick more excessive in the set to her hock when she gets in motion. But nonetheless, I really like that female. There's a lot of good about that one. The Hereford second in line here is one that you can appreciate for what Herefords do best, and that's being good-footed, sound cattle. She's big boned. She's really, really good in motion. I love that about her. I really like her front 1/3. She stays fairly clean about her throat, especially for a Hereford, and one that you appreciate for her fresh condition. She's maybe not the deepest body in class and doesn't have that big belly to her, but that's okay. I think she does so many good things in terms of structure, stoutness, and look, that there's a lot of good about that Hereford heifer. And the Showmans did a great job getting that thing mighty docile. It's been in the ring plenty of times today, and I don't think it's stirred up once. So congratulations to her. Our Simmental heifer is a big, powerful, broody female that you can tie on to in terms of fleshing ability. Like we talked about in class, she's a little more upright, the angles of her skeleton off both ends. And it starts to show when she's taken to the lead, but a really nice heifer that has a lot of good about her. And to round things out, here's a commercial heifer that there's a lot of good things about her too. She's functional, she's practical, feminine in her look. I'd probably like to stouten her up just a tick compared to some of these other cattle in here, but one that you can have a pasture full of that you'd really be pretty proud of. So nice job to all four of these. It's tough. There's a lot of different ways I can do this, but I guess I'm just going to have to make the tough decision, and I hope you guys can respect my opinion, because like I said, you can pick all four of these, and I definitely talk to you about why you like them. So nice job to all four of these. Let's give them a really nice round of applause. Congratulations.
All right, your overall breeding grand champion belongs to Carrie Shupin. Your overall reserve grand champion belongs to Caden Crouch. Let's give them all another big round of applause, please. Our next class we'll have in the arena is our Trowbridge Farm Feeder Calf class. Our sponsor for our Trowbridge Farm Feeder Beef winner is Beef Resources. Don't forget to get your nominations in for the Helping Hands Award. It's an award for 4-Hers and FFA members that go above and beyond to help others during the fair. If you have anybody in mind and would like to nominate them, the nominations can be made at the fair office. And also, one more time, all livestock auction entries need to be submitted to the fair office before 2 p.m. tomorrow.
I think this is such a cool and unique opportunity that you guys put on here at your county fair, and I've never really seen something like this, and I cannot commend your entire county for throwing something like this together and giving these young exhibitors this opportunity. You can tell they're happy and very thankful nonetheless to be able to get a calf and show it, and I hope you all continue to be interested in beef cattle. Let's thank the Trowbridge family and these mentors here. This is an awesome deal that I can't commend enough. These showmen have done an awesome job so far, and I must say, sorry to the superintendents, but the ring help's been phenomenal this class, so thanks for all them. They've been real good. I don't know if I've ever had this many people in the ring helping me, so thank you all for that, for the help. And to start things off, as your class winner here, it's going to go to this young lady in the third slot. You can tell she's put plenty of time into this calf, and she's done a good job. Congratulations. And reserve is close, but it's going to go to this gentleman in the far right here in the first slot. He's done a good job as well. Congratulations.
All right, so your winner of the Trowbridge Farm feeder calf class is Abigail Luddington. Let's give her another big round of applause, please. All right, next we'll be moving on to our male feeder calves born since January 1st of this year. We'd like to thank everybody that helped out with the show today. We have Melissa Smith, Abby Sorensen. Without them, the show wouldn't run very smooth, and we would probably not have a clue what was going on. And we'd like to thank our members of the of our fair royalty. We have Audrey Arnold, our queen here, handing out trophies, and Emma Seipold, our Miss Citizenship. Let's give them a big round of applause, please. Thank them for coming out and handing out trophies.
Good class of feeder steers, and you know, for calves born post-January, these are some really nice little baby calves. I think they're on the growth trajectory to be plenty good cattle in the long run, so I commend both of these two for bringing in some really good calves that show plenty of prosperity in their future. So nice job. I guess when sorting a close pair like this, they're very consistent and similar, which makes it hard, but I just like the added growth and performance of the gentleman in the lead here, and not to mention I'm a little envious of his ability to grow a mullet that nice. So he'll win the class today. Good job, and that's not to take away from our reserve little feeder steer. The white naveled calf is plenty good and got a lot of shape to him as well. So good job to both of these, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your county fair. Congratulations.
All right, for our male feeder calves, Stephen Barrett is our class winner, beating his sister, Ann Barrett. Next, we'll be bringing in our female feeder calves born since the 1st of January.
Another good class of feeder heifers, and I know it's a small class, but both of these little calves, certainly, like I said last class, they got a lot of future ahead of them. I think they're built right in terms of their structure. They're good looking, and they got some nice front start to their front 1/3, and you even study them in their rib cage, and they look like they're going to be plenty practical, functional cattle in the long run. So kudos to these two for coming back in the ring today. We're going to go with the all-black heifer calf to start, just because it's a little bit stouter, a little bit more massive than our blaze face one in the rear. So we're going to go 1, 2, but nonetheless, really good job to both of you, and I hope you stick with these two critters, because I think they're going to do you well in the long run. So congratulations and nice job today.
All right, for our female feeder calves, Ann Baird wins the class.